Well, certainly we do thank God. You know, it's good when we can laugh in God. That's when you grow old gracefully. I remember, I'm gonna tell this short story about myself. When I was 33 years old, I had worked for like 2 years, and every day my back was progressively getting worse and worse. Until the one day I came from Mandeville, Covington area, across the causeway. That's the first time I ever recognized in all them years I was riding over that, how bumpy that thing was. So by the time I made it back to the job and I opened the truck door to step out, I fell out. And my back was hurting me so bad as I laid on the ground. I said, God, I never know this much pain, but I used to suffer with ulcers. But anyway, I said, Lord, this is it for me. I can't do this. So from that, I, went to the doctor. At 33, at 35, I was awarded Social Security disability, total disability. So, of course, the doctor that I had, he says, let me tell you, son. Now, I took the insurance company doctor, which everybody said I was stupid to do. But the man was real. He said, let me tell you, son, you're young. You have two discs going this way and one going this way. He said, there's going to be many people that's going to say, I can fix that. He said, but the truth is very iffy. He said, so I would suggest that you think very wisely, So when he went to the deposition, he told the people, he said, well, he was professional enough not to say I would need surgery somewhere down the line, but I would need further medical care. And just as he said it, another doctor, he was on Canal Street, driver, Lamborghini. They used to call him Knife Happy. He was ready to fix it. And so I started thinking, so I became very careful. But then I seen many people through the years I've been suffering with this that had the surgeries. And I saw one guy, he must be dead by now. This guy was in so much pain. He had 5 surgeries. And I was just like, I'm not going to rush. And of course, if you have surgery, you get a little more money. But for me, it wasn't about money. It was about what's best for, and that's what people don't get about me. Money is not the most important thing on the planet to me. My health and my happiness is. So anyway, we went through all that. So come to discover, because in 1988, twice I had to take off from work because my back went out. But come to discover, I hurt my back when I was in the Army. Well, I'm young. I'm 22, 23, So I hurt the back. I have a profile, and I couldn't work for a while. So they discovered that that's the case. But the thing is, now I have arthritis and degenerative disc. So they say, well, that wasn't the case with the injury in the Army. Well, which settles in the injury over a period of time. So, and not to mention that I said clearly, I was in the wreck in 1988. I said clearly, in 98 and 1988, I was off from work. So, of course, a black man at the VA, you're always trying to fake your way through. I don't care what it is, you're faking your way through. Now, I had all this written evidence that I've been in. Now, in 1998, I was young, or drunk. They denied me, and I just walked away. But then, in 2008, now I have enough sense to know that whatever I deserve, I have to fight for. They don't give black people what they deserve. So if you don't fight for what's right for you, you're not going to get it. And that's what I done. Of course, the white doctors, he just want to get, I want to get what's justly due me. Yeah, the white boys come in here and they get, but black people have to. I know black veterans right now that deserve compensation that can't get it from being in war and all this kind of stuff. I watched the white boy when I was in AIT fake out the military at 100%. You hear me? Nothing was wrong with him. I watched it. I watched it every day. I watched him. So I'm just saying that if you don't know how to fight for right for you, no matter what other people's opinion are, because at the end of the day, I will give them this injury back and they can have their money, because I could have made a lot more money. You think I like being laid up and stuff? This ain't nothing to play with. And so I'm just saying that people always judge you based on outsider information. not insider information. So if you allow that, and I did initially, but if you allowed it, when I woke up, and see right now, that's why I say I want my reparations, I want everything that I'm due, everything. Now, if it's welfare, I take it. Not welfare that they're saying. If you saying it's welfare, I take it. It's mine, I want it. The only people that never been given reparations is who? Us. Then, see this letter? I don't know who wrote it. They were smart enough, like whoever wrote the book of Hebrews, not to put their name on it, because just believe a female wrote the book of Hebrews. So she didn't put her name on it because it wouldn't have never been admitted into the text. But that talk you don't hear too often. So that's how secretive the fake religion of Christianity is. Because if it's real, it's real. If it's not, it's not. You can't, it is what it is. And God said God could use everybody. But, you know, we look at this picture. Now, look at this picture. Y'all know what this picture depicts, right? This picture depicts supposedly the family. Joseph, Mary. Now, Mary was much younger than Joseph. Mary was just a teenager. Look how they have Mary looking. Like an old, broke-down person. Really? Now, this even supposed to be, you know, updated black knowledge. I paid twice as much for this book as I could have bought one of the other ones for, with those white folks in it. And look how they depict the queen. Y'all see it? That should be, that's disgraceful, isn't it? For a 15-year-old girl? You think that looked like a 15-year-old girl?
It's too old.
Okay, but check it out. They got her looking so old. Look. Now, that's a shame. She looked like she at least 70. Huh? I mean, but that's what I'm saying. So why they see how they have to deframe the black woman? You see what I be saying? So what I be saying, and I know I sound like I be coming across racist or whatever. I'm not racist. I can't be racist. Well, I can't be racist. I'm not even a separatist, but I am a proud black man. I tell you that. So anyway, so when I look at all that, and so I used to let that get me. So I thought that I was higher up on the pecking order. You know, I thought being a male was, you know, and then I think this, and now every male that break the wound should be called holy, but the wound he come from is not holy. Ain't that crazy? You remember in the earlier in Luke, the lady said, "Blessed is the paps that you suck from," and they say Jesus said, "Blessed is those who love the Lord thy God." But that's where I remember I used to think about all that and promote it. But then I'm thinking, he says, I see the identity theft there because it's taken. So blessed is the past because the person that gave you birth, what life came from is. So anyway, I don't want to go too far there. But I really love, good morning, Deacon Barron, Bishop Sutton, Cousin Raymond. But I really was like, man, these people just don't stop belittling the black woman. They just don't stop trying to take the glory, the joy, the honor that God bestowed upon you all from you. They just don't stop. At every corner, at every curve. And if we stupid enough to continue to fall into that, now, again, what we was laughing earlier, you know, about my back being on, they say grow old gracefully, but old is painful. Grow old painfully, with a lot of wisdom, though. So if you give up health, so-called health, but you have to gain something. Like they say, if you lose your sense of hearing, if you can't hear, then you smell better, or your sense, something become better. So you start losing your physical capabilities, so allow your mind to grow something, you know, and start being wise, and stop allowing yourself to be made mockery of over and over again, because you continue to fall into the same bold-corn system that you and I both know never existed, that they created, and they created it for their benefit. So this letter to God, or from God, I'm going to put this on Facebook. This got to go. This is some real stuff here. Most of the things that these people have fooled us into believing is important have no value to it whatsoever. It's all wasteful and useless foolishness. Let me tell you something. If every person have the same ability to make similar things happen, now some people, we know those people have favor, but if we stop focusing on them people and put all our energy on us, we have proven, our ancestors have proven with less education and everything. So they held back their education, but we still rose, as Maya Angelou say, but still, yet we rose. So they held back the channels of finances, but yet we rose. But when they released the reins of enslavement, and yet we caught on to it. So we went from being physically enslaved to thinking that the people that stole your history is better than you. Now you copying them, so you watered down. That's like going to the bar and ordering, where everybody know when you go for happy hour, buy one, get one free. It's watered down. You're not getting what you would get if it wasn't happy hour. You know why? Because the bar not in business to give nothing away. Is in business to make money. So if you're foolish enough to think that somebody giving you something for free and they pay for it, something is wrong with you. So these people, I use that example to say these people have stolen our identity. They have stolen everything about us and use it against us. And we still have not yet realized that we was victims of trading places. So when we look here, if we look in Malachi, and in Malachi, then you look in Luke, with Simeon and stuff, but you look in Malachi says that, in Malachi 3, 1 through 4, and I do want to kind of point this out. In fact, I'm going to finish here. I'm going to go and do this Luke right quick, because I'm not going to spend a lot of time there, because we done been there 10,000 times. This is that right after Christmas stuff that always come, because he was born. Now they have to validate, right? And so I think about people like Creflo Dollar, all those crooks. All them pimps with mics, them gangsters, and them robbers, stealers, killers, and destroyers. I think about all them, and they talk about, I even heard Creflo say this, and I quote, that the Bible say fox have holes and birds have nests, but the Son of Man he was just talking about a temporary moment. But every example in the Bible, when they talk about the Yahshua or Haru, every example is about not having much. From sending Peter to the water to get the money to pay taxes out of the fish's mouth, to having the 5,000 people say, look, man, we ain't got enough to feed all them people. You better disperse them. Like, we don't have but $30-something. No way we going to take care. I'm paraphrasing here, but this is basically what they were saying. We can't feed all these people. We don't have but $32. How we going to feed 5,000 plus? And that number has been multiplied however you want to multiply. You do your math to it. But, because we know most men have wives and children. Because I was thinking about this the other day. I point out that Jacob had, and how stupid all this thing is, how Jacob had 2 wives, 2 concubines, 12 children. Well, I forgot one main point, that the 2 wives were sisters. They were sisters. Plus, there wasn't too many around. Yeah, but I'm saying, not only that, there was his first cousins. Yeah, there was his first cousins, and there were sisters, and they had 12 children, and you have all this divide between that. That's too much family divide. Something the rubber is not hitting the road somewhere. Because you're talking about husband, wife, first cousins, all these children is brothers and sisters and brothers and cousins. and, and you have all this divide, so we have to start thinking. So when they use that, so I'm going to show you how God wants you to think. See, God told you, I'm just going to this, so let me just do this right quick. Luke 2. At the 22nd verse, and it talks about the day of purification as written by Moses. Not necessarily God. See, that's what they're writing with God. All that stuff the purification, tithing, the communion. I don't mind doing communion. We do communion every service, but we have to know what it is. It's just a reenactment now of an event that some doubt ever took place. But did so-called Adam and Eve, I can't remember the people. Did so-called Adam and Eve have communion? Did so-called the people before the flood, before Noah, have communion? When did communion surface? This is something that every church holds dear. But who can tell me exactly when communion surfaced? How did communion become such an intricate part and service to God? One question. Secondly, where did tithing come from? Where and how and why we have to tithe? Remember, what people don't get, the church was never for rich people. Rich people never liked the church. The church is a socialist organization. The church is not a communist organization. It's not so-called a democratic organization. It's a socialist organization. Now, everybody's quiet because y'all never heard it say it like that before, but it's the truth. I'm going to show you it's the truth. We have always been taught to bring the bring. Now you see all these crooks taking and stealing, but you've been taught to bring. The Bible says, let's go back to where church is shifting at. See, church is not shifting in Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. That's not New Testament. That's culmination of Old Testament. Let's get that straight first. Because that's one lie that we've been told. It's not the truth. It's still the Old Testament. Secondly, when you get to the book of Acts, then the book of Acts begins to lay out the foundation for the way the new church is going to go. This is the foundation of the new church. So in the book of Acts, twice it says that people brought stuff, laid it at the feet of the apostles, disciples at the time. They didn't say apostles, they say disciples. And for them to give, so the have shared with the have not. In other words, the goal for church is that everybody have enough to survive off of. So in that case, it's a socialist organization because it's not intended by the Most High Creator that one have so much more than the other, but it's intended that everyone have. Because the truth is, if you didn't have greed and all this thievery, we could live in great peace. I mean, if we eat, we fellowship, you don't mess with my family, I don't mess with yours, everybody have what they basically need, what a good deal. But when you under the law or the grips of criminals, of devils, of people who rob, steal, kill, and destroy in the name of God, and you follow them, then the God you following is not the God that said, I bring peace, I give to you peace. It's not that God. So when we start saying, somebody was saying, I was looking at something, just now I was reading what the guy said, if you if you think that, just now I was reading this on Facebook, if you think that Donald Trump have God in him, then you of the God, you're of the devil. These people cannot have the so-called God that commanded that everybody be treated equal, that everyone have the necessities of life, that everyone have, a place to call home, food to eat. And then if you have a little more than the other, you share with them and it balances out. That's a socialist society. A socialist society meaning that everyone have. It's not. They showed yesterday on CBS this morning, they divvied up a pie. And they had super rich, the 1%, and 9 slices of the pie stayed with the 1%. That's how they was talking about the divide between the have and the have-nots. Let me tell you something. The biggest lie that you have fallen for is there's a middle class in this penitentiary. There's no such thing as a middle class. They showed, the middle class get a piece of the pie about this big. Now, mind you, 9 slices stay with the 1%. Now you got 1 slice to split. The poor get nothing. The lower rich get nothing. So it goes from the filthy rich to the upper middle class, supposedly. The lower middle class get nothing. The poor get nothing. You see, this is economically how finances is divided now in the world. But yet, people still saying that, just go get a job. It'll work out for you. If you don't have more equality in the divvying out of riches, then how can one live without the dependence of another? So then our young people have to join the military, which I'm glad I did. But I'm glad I did it as experienced in life, not go and fight these super testosterone-filled devils, fight. So when we look here, we look at Luke, and it talks about the Christ, and it talks about Simeon. Simeon, who they said, and they start at the 22nd, and we went to the 32nd verse. I'm not going to stay long on, but it talks about Simeon, and supposedly Simeon was waiting to see the Christ that he then can go on, because he's tired, he's tired, he's ready to go ahead, get out of here. He felt like he didn't put his work in. Now it's time for young people to get it. So supposedly, Simeon was to witness the gift of Israel. But here's the thing, people are dying right now, this second, somebody dying, because they think Israel is the land, not the person. So if people are living, and I don't blame the people for fighting for the land, because the ownership of land is power. When you own your land, you have somewhere to go. But at the same time, it is not the fight that they have y'all fighting. So they have you fighting. Now, I'm not against them, but I think that people need to think more clearer. And because they're making you the villain when all you're doing is fighting for that, like the word used to mean back in the day, is ISO. When President Obama used to always say ISO. Those who are fighting for land that's been in their family for thousands of years. Now they took the definition, made it the same as so-called ISIS, but how you gonna put ISIS as a criminal organization when ISIS is the first known goddess on the planet? Tell me who do that. The devil. Those who are against the true plan of God. But when we don't know, so then they got us, I remember on Facebook, a big alert came up. Yo, stop saying amen after prayer. You saying amen to Amun-Ra. Because they know who the real God is. They know. You just so stupid you don't know. And they have you not wanting to know. When you learn, you think you done took one for the kingdom of the devil. And instead of trying to get back to what's right, and right is not being superior one to another. Right is being loving and kindness to one another. And so Simeon said, look, I done did what I done. Now Jesus is coming, or Yahshua, or Haru, whatever you want to call him, but he's coming now. Now it's his job to take on. He go on to tell Mary the things that's going to happen, and there's only things that you can read in the book of Isaiah. And of course they say, well, that's 1,000 years is match. Well, stupid. If information was put out 1,000 years before, can I copy it? I mean, don't make me, I did not thought long enough. Where I used to fall for that. Man, that's 3,000 years difference in information. Stupid. The information exists. How hard it is to copy. We know that's what they've done. So when you start talking about the law of Moses, and that's who Lord was, because before they put Moses as a figure in this thing, again, our people made affirmations to God because they was in tune with God. They knew who they were in God. Again, the truth don't always sound pretty. But this is what happened. I have not, and I thought this week about getting the affirmations, but I didn't get them because I've been down this week. But they're there. I have not, committed adultery. I have not disrespected a female. I have 42 that I have not. So when we start thinking about that, and we start thinking about, again, like they say, why would we think the slave master created the cotton gin? What do he care? However the cotton was getting there, he was sleeping. He wasn't doing nothing. So common sense should tell you who created the cotton gin. See, common sense should tell you who was trying to make their lives easier. Who was trying to make their life? Common sense should tell you that. But when you're taught not to think, is there any common sense? So when I start looking at that, I start thinking about it, then I say, Lord, for all these years, we've been told and fed all this foolishness. That's why we ain't never go nowhere. That's why people conditions stayed the same. Because people was stuck inside a bubble that never was intended for them to break out of. And they had been taught, accept the worst of the worst. Now here these good old white folks that painted themselves as God rent you houses with big old rats in them and everything. But they go to church Sunday and praise God like ain't nothing funny. When Dr. King went and rented a house, they wanted to get, I won't go right where you, see, because they didn't want Dr. King to see the conditions that they was imposing on the people. But Dr. King said, what's different about me than them? We all the same people. So if you can't rent me a rat-infested house, you shouldn't be able to rent them a rat-infested house. And then we get right with them same people that still today treat our people subhuman, substandardly, and we still praise them. We get there. Anytime a daggone fool, if I was around that joker and I was in my 5%, I might have blew his brains out to say that Trump is the best thing that ever happened to black people. People like that need to be gone. Because it's people like that that's continuously keeping us down in the dumps. Anytime you praise a known enemy to yourself, that's house Negro stuff, like Malcolm X said. But when we start awakening to the truth, so we become, and I'm not in saying much, because you can only say so much about this in the moment, and Mary purification, and she had to be purified because a male came from her. That's all chauvinistic stuff. I'm suspect of how much of this is really godly, to be honest with you. because I know they created all of those stuff. And the letter, and then I know you say, well, it's not the Bible. Well, where the Bible come from? Tell me who wrote what we just read. Who wrote the book of Malachi? Who knows? You can only assume, because you don't know. So let's stop playing that old foolish game. So this writing here is, I swear, when it was being read, I was like, wow. But this is not the first time we had this as a second reading. But it's just been a while, and it restored me thinking, my dear children. And believe me, I know you already. You should know that. My spirit is not a historical thing. See, all these things is that you can't say. See, God is ever evolving, ever moving, ever knowing. That's why I want to know God today. The only thing I could get from the God of yesterday is how to be a better God today. That's it. I can't drive on you. So I'm not much into history. I like the facts, but I don't live there, because we have to live in the here and now. What about these people that's starving today? What about these people that don't have access to mental health, that need mental health? What about the things that our people are faced with that's not being addressed? And we going to, because I made it, I'm good. I made it. That's the attitude a lot of us have. If they wasn't so lazy and shiftless, but we started out from the gate with lacks. Now, some of our people have advanced very nicely, but then some haven't. And, and it's a tug of war between good and evil, because when we go to schools, we hard pressed. In fact, the kids now can't even bring their school book home, because they all share the same book. At least when we went to school, we did have a book to bring home. So then when you start looking at all the conditions that's faced in this time, and all this wasted money, and all these things that they have going on, but we can't afford to give black children books so that they could be educated. But we could afford to fund the penitentiary, though. Why? Because that's destination unknown. That's where we want you at. And constantly we see they're falling into the traps. So how do we address this, though, as a people? Serious. This is something that we have to think about. How do we address this? So I look at Malachi, right? I look at Malachi 3, and starting 1 through 4. It says, behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord whom you seek shall suddenly, listen to this, shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts. But who may abide the day of this coming, and who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire, and like a fuller's soap. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. And he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto the Lord an offering in righteousness. Then shall the offering of Judah and Jerusalem be pleasant unto the Lord, as in the days of old, and as in former years. Okay, I like how he says this. I will send a messenger. But then he says, listen to this, we have to get this. He said, and he shall be like a refiner's fire. We know the refiner's fire, the purpose of it is, right? It melt metal down to try to get all the imperfections out, because in metal you can't have imperfections in it. So meaning that you are being heated up so that your imperfections are taken away from you. And then like being washed with the fullest soap. So now you are perfect, not imperfect. Now you have been made to perfection, not imperfection. But can you accept that as your reality? Can you accept that he says that's what they say. They say, if you bought into this whole concept of Jesus and everything, you have to buy into this because this is the precursor of Jesus. And it's this here saying what Jesus is and what Jesus gonna do. It said Jesus is gonna become a refiner and what Jesus did. Supposedly Jesus died for your past, present, and future sin, meaning that if you accept God, then you're supposed to be refined and made pure, made holy, made righteous. Ain't no, you can't never reach that. That's the biggest lie I ever told. Right here in the book, it tells you what you are. But if you don't know it, you'll never be it. So, so we have this thing. We're supposed to be made refined. We're supposed to be washed with the fullest. So we're supposed to be shining like silver and gold. But when our women are disrespected, well, we to be accounted for. When our children are murdered, well, we to be accounted for. We let those same old crooks grab the mic who's doing nothing but who have already taken their buyout. Have already taken their buyout, and that's our representative. As a people, we are losing because we're stupid. Because we have not yet become bold enough to take the mic and say, enough is enough. I remember in this church, 20-something years ago at Melanie Boys' home when a couple of people was robbing the church. They was taking collections, and if you would see the bill, and it just was going on. And I guess they thought it would last forever after our first pastor died. And then the people got tired and stood up and said, no, enough is enough. You want to take some more collections? Show us some proof that you need. You see, the people got tired and they stood up. And their voices were accounted for. Well, guess what happened that day? All of them left, never to return, because they was challenged, and they knew that the people was ready to stand up for what they believed was right. So if we could do that in this entity, why can't we do it as a people? Because let me say this. Until we realize that we've been refined, until we realize that we have been made whole and perfect, we'll never maximize our godly potential. Now, if I don't maximize my godly potential, how can people behind me get opportunity? When are we going to redesign our community where our children don't have to go outside it to look for employment, don't have to go outside it to look for financial help? Have to go outside to look for guidance from a male or female. And until we take back control of our own communities, until we become the voice of our community, and until we defeat that giant. But here's the deal. We're not the only problem. But we're a big part of the problem. Why? Because we're the affected one. Even poor white people catching heck, but they ain't catching the heck we catching. They're not catching the heck we catching, but we pay our taxes equal to all. We do what was asked of us, but we still get nothing. So what we're afraid of? Nothing from nothing, leave nothing. But a person is scared to fight for what's right, what their reward is. To complain, because that's all we get. And we see how much that get us. We see how they railroaded this so-called country. I told y'all this is a business, because you couldn't railroad a conscious people like these people, so-called American people, been railroaded this week with that foolishness about, how you gonna have a trial with no witnesses? How you gonna know that a person committed an offense and in everybody's face laugh at all because nobody's strong enough to fight? Come on, man. It's almost embarrassment to be from here. In fact, it is embarrassment to be from here because nothing happening. This man is doing all this illegal stuff. These people doing whatever they want to. just because they Republican and they white. And like what I was reading said, if you say that Trump had God and Barack Obama didn't, then you're a white supremacist. Because if Trump have God, whatever God Trump have, I don't want no parts of it. I don't want no parts of that God, none. Because those people are the devil, they destroy. But the question is, are we devils too? If we not fight, if we not willing to stand up like Simeon did, if we don't realize that we've been refined by the refiner, that we've been washed with the fullest soap, made whole in God with a purpose to go out and cause people to think, not make them nothing, not form them into something, but make them just think. Just start thinking for a second. Just start looking around you and see to how you've been had, how your grandchildren will never have anything, how you won't have anything if you don't get outside of that mold. I was telling Blanca, I think yesterday, step outside of that box. Sometimes Blanca seems to get comfortable in that box. Step outside of that box because that box ain't no good for you. It's no good for our grandchildren. No, but if you know, they have their fault, whatever, but I'm not, they ain't gonna be in that box if I have anything to do with it. You could believe that, because I die getting them out. I'm not, no, but the attitude have to be far beyond my grandchildren. You have to be for all children. Black children need the opportunity to succeed. And if black people don't stand up and start making themselves accountable for what's needed in their communities, I don't care, because we shine. You know, we get this and we get our recognition and we go there and we feel comfortable with that. But are we shining as a people? If we can't stand up and be proud and celebrate as a people, then can one person shine? Now, I'm not saying that, you know, your works shouldn't precede your reputation or whatever the case may be. But what I'm saying is that if we're not making life better on this planet for those who are coming behind us, do we really have anything to celebrate? One thing we know, hell, when Kobe Bryant was killed in the helicopter crash in less than 2 hours, they had a second line. We know we could give a party. When we're going to start second lining for justice? When we're going to start second lining for righteousness? When we're going to start second lining for the lives of our babies, our young people that's coming behind us, that these people is just snipping off and just killing up? Should we put it in the form of a party? You know, that's what it takes to mobilize us as a people, a party? Well, should we have a big party? Whatever it takes to take back control of our own destiny, our own children. We have a nice saying here. Move by the genes of your culture. You should never, people who are not moved by the genes of their culture should never achieve economic and all that stuff. And it's true. But then I don't see no examples. I look at the 3 wasted million men marches. I look at a lot of other things that have happened with black people, and all we came out with is for them white folks to sit at their dinner table and laugh, because nothing was achieved from it. So all the white folks saying is that they're still our niggas. Excuse me from saying it, but it's the truth. All of the white folks saying is they're still our niggas. We just gave them a little more. So what we did is we made them think that they don't have to be comfortable with each other. In fact, they made it so that every house is governed by itself. And very rarely do you see this house and this house being able to work together. So the enemy is winning. I don't know if I'm the only one seeing it. I don't know if I'm standing here just being overly critical, but I know this, that I'm not happy with myself. I'm not happy with myself because I think that I could do more. I'm standing up here in nothing but pain, but I think I can do something else. Something have to be done. This is critical. We talking about a whole people. We talking about, I've heard white people say, I don't want their business. Why don't they go to their own people? I swear I've heard it. They bold enough to say that because they know white people going to come and do business with them. But we in there begging other people to take our money. When are we going to open up some of our own businesses? I've been asleep at the wheel. I have stuff sitting in my house waiting to open. But I got sick. But still, I'm so aggravated because you hear it, you keep hearing it. And just like a mechanic, which my brother's dad now, but anything that I need, I should have a Rolodex that I can go to, call someone, it get done, you get paid, I'm happy, you happy, hoorah, hoorah, que sera, sera. But we too busy trying to be Roman. Because they say, what do a black man, why should a black man be romantic? You're not Roman. So we so busy chasing other people's foolishness that we don't see that we the inventors of. But can we invent some job for our children? Can we take this refining? We're supposed to be made refined. So and I say all this stuff because we're supposed to be holy. We're supposed to be powerful. We're supposed to be anointed. But what good is any of that if ain't nothing good coming from you? Come on, man. So when is it going to happen? This is why I talk about preachers so badly. Because I've been around them and I know they have, not all, but most have the intent to deceive. They have the intent to deceive. I know this for a fact. I'm not making this up. And, when I was talking about the gay people, they said, oh, he exposing all the people. He got to be stopped. That's what they said. He's telling the truth, so he have to be stopped. Do you hear me? We have become a people that are satisfied with being lied to. We are satisfied with sweeping things under the rug, making it look like things have changed. When we know darn well, in 2020, February the 2nd, 2020, we are in the same shape as a people. In fact, we're in worse shape because there was a time when we worked together as a people, but now we don't, and we team up with the enemy. I'm about to bring it to a close here. I remember the Bob Marley movie, Bob Marley documentary. You got two white men. What's his name? I'm looking in his face. But Bob Marley did a concert. He wasn't supporting neither one of them. But one of them tried to piggyback off to make it look like, and he got shot behind that, Bob Marley. But in other words, so you had all these black people killing up each other for two white men to run their country. Not two black men to run their country, for two white men. But it's all the black people killing up each other. If you look at the history of all that stuff, at one time it was extremely dangerous. And when they shot in the house and they shot Bob, they shot Rita, they had three of them. You see? That was right before the concert because when this guy said he was with them, then these people came and attacked. Now, mind you, these people was people he grew up with. This was his so-called friends. This was people from around the corner down the street. They're supposed to know better. They're supposed to know your stance. They're supposed to know where you are and your seriousness or whatever. This was a serious, one guy said he was a seriously focused dude, seriously conscious, focused dude. So the thing is that how seriously conscious and focused are we? But even so, how many people that look like you recognize it in you? Because why? Because if you are, they're jealous of you. Because the other people told him, oh, he thinks he's better than you. Even if that's not your demeanor. So who suffers? The kingdom suffer much violence, and the violence take it by force. We have allowed the people of violence, the people who since they've been on the planet been at war and still continue to be at war. That's how they're so rich. That's how the 1% have 9 slices of a 10-slice pie. And then they have us singing and celebrating with them, saying, oh, but they deserve it. They're killing up all these people, but they deserve it. That's just like when I was in Cambodia and Thailand, and I saw these big old, and I'm like, all these people right side of the gate starving. And just one person, one family have all this stuff. And they will kill you, telling you these people deserve it, and they don't. So if you travel around the world, it's not just unique to America, but what it is unique to is Western ideology. Because everywhere in the world you go, the white men have tainted and homes and hurt the local economies, the local practices, traditions and stuff. These people have went around this world and destroyed it. I close here. Yesterday I was looking at History TV, and I had text Doc, but it had went off by then, but he was busy. But this really blew me, but I'm not surprised. They was talking about right now today, and they're about to start doing this if they're not doing it already. You know that $6 million man stuff? Hello, we here. They're going to start downloading your brain in the computer to make you, the computer, your brain going to become smarter in the computer. So if you have any illnesses, they're going to correct it. Anything that's going, if you start, in other words, they're going to extend your age, your ability to live longer without sicknesses and illnesses. Then they had in your own, you have your cell phone, you have, I swear you have your USB cords, the USB things, you have all that in your own, so you're not going to carry no devices. Then they're fixing it where, as they do this is what these people say. And when these people start telling you they already have the technology, they're not trying to get it, they have it already. You're going to be able to fly to space and not be in a spaceship. You, the people. So what they're doing is their attempt is to recreate you to be able to go back up to where all these gods come from, these aliens. I'm serious. This is what these people have today. So they say, that's not talking about 10 years from now. They say right now, you can start getting this stuff and get yourself together, and your illnesses, like how my back is hurting and stuff, all this could be fixed. My memory loss, all that could be repaired. My life expectancy, because they was talking about Methuselah and those people and how long they used to live. I'm telling you, that's what made me text you yesterday, because there's some, it's really some scary stuff. Now, is it scary, or is it just the lack of understanding it? Well, understand it, because I sure don't overstand it, but I do get it, because it's not like it's not written. See, it's written that these things are going to take place. So am I surprised? No. But I'm talking about not getting a little chip put in me. These people putting everything in you. You hear what I'm telling you? No money. Everything going to be done. Chip swipe, music, telephone, bank accounts and everything. They showed it, I swear. And, yeah, it's in your own. It blew. And look, that's not the first time I saw it. Because I watch that all the time. I'm an ancient alien person, because I know that these people have this stuff. But it still was as scary this time as it was the first time. That's some scary stuff, y'all. These people have made themselves gods. And so they're talking about what people call gods really was just alien visitations. And they had advanced technology, so they had more than you have. They were showing, they finally now starting to admit that some of the pyramids and stuff is older than they once thought. Now y'all know how they was older than that. So now they dating them back to Isis and Haru and Osiris and stuff, not to these dynasties before the dynastic era. This stuff was here. So this was before those fake Egyptians, those Arabs that's calling themselves Egypt. That was before them. No, they now have all kind of proof. Geologists and archaeologists, they're at dispute over age, time, how things did. So there's no singular idea, because when you're trying to cover up the truth, covering up the truth is a hell of a job. Excuse my French, I'm sorry. Covering up the truth is a heck of a job. But getting people to accept the truth is even a harder job. Now, the Bible says you should know the truth, and the truth should make you free. You know the Bible predate white people. We know that because the Bible, I have the book that came in, Africans that wrote the Bible. In the introduction, that's what she's telling you. How all these stories was just taken by these people, pictures was changed. And look, I buy a book. I buy this book. I paid $125 for this book. The regular one, $67.50. But I buy it because it's for us. It's African. And look at how they display a 15-year-old. Like she 80 years old. It's just, but again, we buy into this stuff with these people. When are we going to start seeing that they're not our friends, they're our enemies? But even more importantly, when are we going to start seeing that we're not our enemies, but we are all friends? Brothers and sisters, remember, like I told y'all, one man, Israel. They make everything about Israel, right? In the readings, they talk about Israel in Malachi 3, 1 through 4. It talks about Israel. It talked about Israel in Luke 2, 22 to 32. Talked about Israel. Now, I say Israel is not a place, it's a person. This Israel was one man, two sisters, they was considered wives. Two sisters, two additional wives who was the maidservants of the wives, 12 sons from that, which was all brothers and cousins. Well, they were brothers and cousins. And you have all this divide. But the divide wasn't with them. The divide was when the other people came in to devalue them. Now, we see that he talks about the Levites. Didn't he talk about the Levites? Why he talked about the Levites? Because the Levitical priesthood was the only way that God ordained ministers to come. No other way. So if you're not from the tribe of Levites, if you're not a part of the Levitical priesthood, and at least in that family, you can't minister God's word to God's people. The Bible said that, the Levites. But so we have fallen too far. Too far, too fast, for too much. A lot of information, a lot of discerning, discipling, a lot of, like I tell people, they get real deep in one. Like I'm praising the cross so much because we have so much misinformation. Brother, he's like Malcolm. I'm like, I'm Malcolm some, I'm Martin some, I'm Garvey some, I'm Dr. John Henry Clarkson, Dr. Ben. Because they have so much information out here that we have to be careful. And if you delve too far into one, then you're missing something else. And my thing is, how far can we delve in information when we don't really know where it comes from? Because a lot of times information was put together to deter you. Egyptology, and I close here for sure. Egyptology is the only tology on the planet. I've been challenging you all and anyone else listen to tell me any other society that have a tology. They don't have none. Egyptology was started somewhere around 1881. Okay? 1881 Egyptology. So Egyptology is a new kid on the block. But still, in Egyptology, you have a lot of disagreement. Because again, you're trying to discern something that didn't happen, that didn't take place. So when you coming up with stuff and you keeping a story going, the story keep evolving and changing. But if an event happened, if Easter happened, then it happened on a date. If Easter took place, it was April 1st, it was January the 31st, one of them days. It wouldn't be March this month, this year, and February next month. Well, not February, April the next month. It wouldn't be. So, did it really happen? Did someone have to die for you to live? Did there have to be a resurrection? Or they put this self as being so exceptional, which the resurrection was believed to be true aliens going back to their place. So there's a lot that need to be learned. There's a lot that need to be learned, because most of the information that you have is not about your gods or alien visitations and different. Will you even look at some of your Egyptian gods, a man with a dog face? Really? That's a god. So obviously, if that's their existence, they come from somewhere else. They ain't come from here. But we get stuck on stuff that we can't even prove. But do I believe in the great energy and all that? Of course I do. If not, I'll be standing up here for nothing. Then I'll be stupider than I already think I am. I already think I'm stupid from falling for this stuff for so long. And if I continue to fall for the same stupidity, then I would think I'm super stupid. I'm not just stupid, I'm super stupid. Because God has given me the opportunity to see, but I won't see. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. But I still repeat the same behavior. So do I see? Or I'm just a liar like the other ones? And the so-called Bible said that the devil is the father of lies and author of deceit. So if I'm a liar, then I'm of the devil. If I said to say you should know the truth, the truth should make you free. If I know the truth, then I mean I'm free. Which one are you? Are you free? Or are you a liar? God bless. God keep. This is truly my prayer. Assalamu alaikum. I say peace. Hotel. Namaste. All right, good morning.
Testimony time.
Davison, thank you for watching. Dwayne Thompson, Heavy D, thank you for watching, brother. I'm going to get in touch with you soon. Antonio Quells, thank you for watching. Hey, brother Antonio. Rashad Nichols George, hi, thank you for coming on. Elsa Cardwell, thank you for coming on. Rashad Nichols, oh, that's you again, thank you. Alethea Roper, thank you for coming on. Sister Sherelle Angel, thank you. Velia Regas, thank you, sister, from coming on. Cuz, thank you, Cuz. King from coming on. Deacon Barry, thank you, brother, bless him. Bishop, my little Bishop. Shantae Sutton, thank you, Bishop, from coming on. God bless you all. We pray, Brother Dennis Bagneris, thank you for coming on, brother. We thank you. We pray that something was said that was beneficial, but if something was said that can be corrected, just get in touch with me. I'm easy to get in touch with. Remember, I don't debate, I discuss, okay? God bless, God keep. Truly my prayer. Have a blessed day, and more importantly, a spirit-filled week. Hope to see you back next Sunday, same time, same place. Peace and blessing. Ashe. Namaste. Peace. Hotel. Bye-bye.